my name's Krista Jacobsen, and I'm a faculty member in the horticulture department, and I direct the undergraduate program in sustainable agriculture, and I also I'm a faculty chair of this local food systems institute, the Food Connection, and we do help strengthen some of those local purchasing, procurement targets and that kind of thing within UK dining and some of that, and then also helps some various extension and research activities to help strengthen local food systems here in the state, particularly for farmers who are trying to reach institutional markets like the university. So slightly different than what Brooke is going to talk about, but we do also do things like host the CSA fair for the voucher program for UK employees that Brooke is going to talk about, and we also do some culinary education. So for people like you who may have never approached greens or kohlrabi or don't even know how to cook at all, kind of expose them to the joys of cooking and seasonal eating and those kinds of things, and just kind of meeting people where they are, whether they're students in the dorm, how to incorporate local food into their dorm room meal repertoire, or folks looking to feed a family on a budget and trying to figure out how to access local food. So we do a little bit of that. I have a couple of slides in here that I'm just going to encourage Brooke to skip through, because it's just a lot of like, what is a local food system and all of that kind of stuff. And she's got a lot more of the guts of what you want to hear about. So bits about the CSA, about organic, and about this fabulous program that she administers as part of one of our wellness benefits here at the university, the Kentucky Farm Share Coalition. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brooke.
Great. Thanks so much, Krista. I really love that last grid. So the last image you have of the big food system cycle, I love that one. Well, so I'm here today to talk to you about Kentucky Farm Share Coalition. It's a program of OAKS, the Organic Association of Kentucky, and it's all about CSA. So it's great to know that you participate in CSA, and particularly UK CSA, which is one of our partners on this program, and how it got started. So the Organic Association of Kentucky is a nonprofit. We were started by farmers, and we serve farmers, and we believe that organic practices can improve how food is grown and the quality of the natural resources we depend on, and create new opportunities for small farms in Kentucky to thrive. So being Earth Day, it seems appropriate to really talk about some of the current environmental challenges we find ourselves facing as a global community. These extreme and immediate environmental challenges have very real impacts on our natural resources, climate, communities, economies, and ultimately really limit our resilience and ability to thrive. And so at Oak, we believe that organic really matters and provides some solutions that we need, the tools and practices we need to address some of these challenges and find and sort of expand the ways that we are producing food. So really the main message here is how your food is grown really matters, and it impacts all of these sectors and more. I mean, there's only spot for eight things on here, so it's really limited. But how your food is grown really matters. And when you see that USDA organic seal, you can know that that farm has been third-party inspected and meets over 125 pages of federal regulations, and it's using farming practices that build healthy soils, increase biodiversity, work with nature, and skip having to use over 700 agricultural chemicals, and that those organic agriculture practices sequester soil carbon while also improving water quality both on the farm and off the farm. So we're also doing this work because organic agriculture has a strong and growing industry nationally, providing real economic opportunities for farmers. And what we see here in Kentucky is that there's a pretty strong upward trend also, creating pretty large opportunity for farmers in the state as well that have that market access. So I love showing this image, certified organic farms across the state, seeing all these blue pin drops. This is the number of certified organic farms in the state has doubled since 2016, and we're now at over 240 organic farms in Kentucky, which is wonderful. And at Oak, we really work to meet the needs of all those farmers and our members interested in organic agriculture. We help farmers build production capacity and assist in expanding those market opportunities for them. And we do this through farmer field days, where farmers get out on working farms, see what's happening, have the peer-to-peer conversation, and also engage with researchers like Krista. Krista joins us for some of these field days, and other industry experts to really share what these best practices are and to highlight the innovations that we're seeing. We also help farmers with organic certification technical assistance. We work with 144 farmers in the past 4 years with developing their paperwork, record keeping, and answering questions about the certification process. We are not certifiers, but we really support these farmers through the process. We also hold an annual organic farming conference. This is obviously pre-COVID when this picture was taken, but it is the biggest gathering of organic farmers in the state, and it's an important part of our programming. But I'm really here to talk to you about the Kentucky Farm Share Coalition. This was developed about 6 years ago and is more consumer-oriented programming, and it's about connecting certified organic CSA farms with employers who really want to incentivize participation in CSA. So Jewel, I want to ask you, do you use the voucher that UK offers to participate in CSA?
Mute. Yes, I do. Yes, I have actually, I have been lucky enough when they would have the drawings.
The lottery, you were a lottery winner.
Yeah, I was
You're
a
old
lottery
school
winner.
about it then.
Well, you know, so I had been through the program a couple of times already. And so the first year it was just for new people. And so one of the people that I worked with, I said, oh, Fritz, you should join the CSA. And he won the first year that there were incentives. And then they opened it up to even people that had been participating in it. And then they just are giving it to us, you know, just routinely so that we can.
Yeah, it's an open benefit now. And really it's a testament to UK and the research that this incredible team has done on this project, the impacts. That's what I really am excited to share with you here, but it's because UK did this pilot and then did the research to prove that it has all this different type of value, right? That it's now an open benefit, which is so exciting.
No, it really is. I mean, we're very happy with that. And so, you know, everybody knows that, you know, I trundle over there. I take the bus to work. And so I bring a suitcase with me on those days where I have to pick up my produce. And then I fill up my suitcase with produce and trundle it over to the bus.
That's fantastic. I'm going to come take your picture next Thursday or that first Thursday. I love that.
So now we actually share our produce with our neighbors across the street, and they are just absolutely in love with it. We all have baskets full of garlic that was seed garlic from the CSA growing in our front yard. So anyway, lots of fun.
It's so fun. It's so fun. And really, that's one of the things that's so amazing about CSA. It's like it has this sort of exponential impact because it's not just that one CSA member that benefits, it's that whole household. And there's like the data that I'm going to share with you doesn't really capture the impact of that whole household. It's really just focused on that individual shareholder. But it just like you say, you know, it's like your neighbors benefit, your partner benefits, your coworker at work, if you're too busy to pick up your share, they swoop in and pick it up, they benefit too.
Yeah.
Hi, Laura. We're a small group here. We're going through the presentation, but it's also very informal. So welcome. And if you have any specific questions about CSA, or do you participate in community supported agriculture now? Let us know. Okay. Well, if you have questions as we go, just chime in anytime. CSA shares, as you know, are very seasonal and they are beautiful. And they also challenge the CSA member to really eat a variety of crops, some that you may be familiar with, some that are new throughout the season. Typical share main season share is 20 to 22 weeks. And that's really what the Kentucky Farm Share Coalition incentive program is based on, that main season share, because that's an opportunity to get the most produce into households through the program. And these are our incredible partner farms who are out there hustling to grow incredible food and to keep all their vegetables from freezing in these super cold days. Additionally, they are friends and collaborators. Did you want to say something?
No,
Okay.
I just mute myself because I had such a hard time getting unmuted.
And they really work to build the capacity of their own farms, but also to grow the opportunities for CSA across Kentucky as a model, and to advance organics across the state as well. So they're great collaborators. These are just some of the many benefits that CSA members report at the end of the season when we ask them. And, you know, it's really all about knowing their farmer and knowing how their food is grown and getting those updates from the farms, if not visiting the farm themselves, and really having that convenient pickup access, whether it's at work or close to their home at a community pickup site. So the convenience factor also. One of the reasons why we got started on this project, though, is that, you know, we were seeing that adults in the nation, but also in Kentucky, really just were not eating the daily recommended serving of vegetables. In Kentucky, we're at 6.3% of adults eating the daily recommended 2 to 3 cups of vegetables. And this, of course, leads to very high prevalence of diet-related health complications. So we were thinking, like, how can we incentivize fresh eating, fresh vegetables, organically grown vegetables, to address some of these issues? And then we added in this layer in our conversations with the University of Kentucky partners, this notion that, like, there's significant rising costs of healthcare, and UK as a self-insured group and all these other employers as self-insured groups, they're trying to think really creatively about, like, okay, how can we lower the cost of healthcare for us as a group and also for our employees? And this is where the CSA voucher program came in. There were other models out there that were sort of looking at this nexus of issues the same way. And so we looked to their models and really came up with a program design that worked here in Kentucky. And so we piloted the program with University of Kentucky in 2015 to offer a voucher to employees to participate in CSA. And it was a huge hit, Joel, as you know. And Dr. Tim Woods there at University of Kentucky did some initial research in those early years. And he asked CSA participants how they felt. And they reported decreased doctor's visits, decreased expenditures on prescriptions, increase in fruit and vegetables, and increased feeling, like good feeling of wellness and well-being. So this isn't surprising, but it was really great research to have on hand. And it really justified taking a step farther, looking at medical claims data. And so the same research team looked at data from 2015 and 2016 and analyzed it. And it showed that those who participate in CSA starting in a place of high diet-related medical expenditures experienced a significant reduction of those medical and pharmaceutical claims, and to the tune of, you know, $1,080 to $1,530, right? So this is a significant savings during those 12 months following the start of CSA. And that matters both to the employee, right? Because that shows them that they are in fact actually feeling healthier. And it's a significant interest to the employer who's paying that for that self-insured group policy. As a result of that research, Jules, that is when UK decided to make it an open benefit. After Tim Wood's research sort of really showed what the value was of the program and how the cost to participate in the program was much less than the overall savings, right? This was a really great investment, both in employees' wellness, but also just the value of participating in CSA for all of those community feelings about it as well. So thank you for participating in the program, and please do share the opportunity with folks in your network. There are still vouchers available, and it runs through the middle of May. So please do spread the word, because there are shares still out there. Some of the farms are already sold out. I know UK CSA is, but there are a couple farms that still have shares available.
Oh, that's cool. I whenever these come out, I post them. You know, I work in the laboratory, and so I post them. And then there's a little nidus of people that are vegetarians, that I make sure that they understand that this is happening and this is a really big benefit. And there are a whole bunch of people that actually participate in it year after year. And so it's a really, really excellent program. And we get to go out to the farm, and they have raspberries to pick. And that was the first time that happened, that I was able to do raspberries last year during COVID time. So all bundled up and masked and gloved and all the rest of that. But what fun that was. And I think
their U-Pick is such a delight. You know, I think that's a real value to their CSA members.
So today I actually, while I was listening to the first speaker, was busy working with the last butternut squash of last year's season to turn it into soup for lunch today. So we love her.
I love that. I have one of those too, the leftover butternut squash. It's like right on the edge. I should throw it in the oven.
No, it was in perfect shape and it was delicious. So, and now I have my buds that are at work, and I will be bringing 2, aliquots of perfectly curried butternut squash soup for lunch for them tomorrow. And I'll have another helping. So anyway, it's all good.
I just love
Lucky
that.
coworkers, yeah.
I totally love that.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about this program. We're just so honored to have partnered, to be in partnership with all these farms and the University of Kentucky in piloting it, and it's grown beyond that. We have welcomed new farms into the coalition. We now work with 16 employer partners, since 2016, there's been a total of $2 million in direct farm gate sales because of this program, through this voucher program, with 4,700 households participating since 2016 as well. So we're really excited about the impact of this program that really has the opportunity to scale and grow even more through the years. So we have a lot more in the works, but that's really all we have time for at this point.
How long does it take for a farm to be able to become organic? If they've been doing routine, stuff, how long does it take for them to clean up their act and become organic?
Yeah, great question. This is a very, very common question. So technically, the farm has to show that it's been 36 months since a prohibited substance has been applied to their cropland. So that can mean a lot of things depending on what's happened on that cropland. If they've been using organic practices and have good documentation and have not used any prohibited substances, they could put together an application and submit it to the certifier tomorrow.
I see.
But they have to be able to show what's been used on that land in the past 36 months. If you bought a new farm that was just pasture land and nothing's been done to it for 36 months, you could certify that tomorrow. You could apply to certify it tomorrow. The certification process with the certifier can take 4 to 8 months, depending on what certifier you're using, just in terms of all the review stages.
So what about runoff? Does that count towards, problems with a farm that's trying to become organic and they get runoff from somebody else that's busy, spraying their golf course?
Yeah, absolutely. When an inspector, part of the review process in your application is an inspector comes to the farm and they do a whole site assessment. They go over every piece of your paperwork, and they really are looking at any weak parts of the system. And part of that is your buffer system. And so they're looking at slope and prevailing winds, and they're looking for any erosion. They're looking at what the land practices are next door to you, right? And they're also looking for signs of any like overspray or drift from herbicide. So they'll see signs of that. And if they don't see signs of it, they'll see where it could be happening if there were an error or mistake from a neighbor. And so it's really, the burden is on that farmer then to articulate what their management practices are, knowing what those risks are. So oftentimes they have to have many feet of buffer between their property line and the neighbor's production zone. Or if they're downslope, there has to be like a swale there to capture that rainwater runoff, or perennial pollinator habitat to really capture that rainwater runoff and hold it, sink it, keep it from that crop zone.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's very site specific, and it can leave farmers who are new to the system being like, well, what do I do? And that's why we have that organic technical assistance program that we offer to farmers to go out and answer the questions, see the site, and take 2 hours to talk about it or take 40 hours to talk about it,
Cool. Thank you so much. This is a program. We're so happy with it, and we love our little CSA.
Well, we're so glad you're part of it. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
such a great CSA advocate. You know, the number one reason why people join a CSA